Today I'm going to show you how to make this air plant wreath. This is one that I made last year, and I'm going to take it apart and clean it up a little bit and put it back together and show you how I wrap the plants with wire onto the wreath. As you can see, this one is still looking pretty good, but it's got a little bit overgrown over here. Some of the plants have grown quite a bit and have put out babies that I can now separate out into little plants of their own. Let's get started. Okay, so I've taken the whole wreath apart. You can see I've saved some of the sphagnum moss here. I had to kind of spray it down with a spray bottle to break it up because it was pretty hard. If you're going to buy fresh moss, I recommend this kind made by E.B. Stone Organics. It's called green moss. It's like roughly $10 for 12 quarts. But just make sure that whatever you use, that it's kind of in pretty big pieces like this. You don't want like this, like lots of little bits, or it's just going to be harder to get it to all stay together. Okay, so then the other thing you want is your 22 gauge wire. And you could use like a slightly thicker wire. I just find this is easier to, easier to work with. Okay, so you're going to flip over your wreath form and take the wire and kind of wrap it around and then twist it around itself. So it's kind of secured on the back side there. And then flip it back over. There we go. And then just take handfuls of the moss. We're just attaching the moss to the frame here. And just go around, get a pretty good handful. There. You want it to look pretty fluffy, full. And then just sort of loosely wrap the wire around. Not too loosely. I mean, you want it snug, but you don't have to have it super tight. Keep wrapping it around. So you can see that is on there pretty well. And just keep that looks a little thin there. Okay, just keep going. I think you could also use Spanish moss for this. I like the color of this moss with the kind of silver gray of the air plants. I think it sets it off a little bit more nicely, but Spanish moss could also work. It's similar in color to the Tillandsia air plants, so it's just a different look. Okay, and then once you've kind of gone all the way around, now you can start attaching your air plants. So, here's the first one, good size one. And what you kind of want to do is snuggle the base of the air plant down into your moss, and then you want to actually wrap the wire sort of between some of the lower leaves, so that something is so that you have those leaves there to really hold the plant in place. Okay, and make sure you have it sort of positioned how you want it before you pull it tight, and then you wrap it around through, and then you can do the next one. Let's see. And I like to kind of alternate them. One side and then the other. Some of mine are also like a little bit different color. So, you know, you can think about that too as part of the project. So I'm going to put this one kind of in, tilting a little bit more to the middle, and you just kind of pull apart these lower leaves. Make sure you don't get the one behind it. You want or next to it. You want to keep those all out. If your plants are a little bit smaller, or if you have a kind of a smaller one, let's see, I have a little one here. I'm going to tuck him or her right there. Okay. Come on, unwind. There. You can kind of arrange the leaves as you go. All right, let's see. This one looks kind of nice. This one's sort of grown in a particular way because it was attached to the wreath, but that's okay. Kind of hide it. So what you want to do is kind of try and hide the base, which isn't very pretty, behind or under, either into the sphagnum moss, or and kind of tuck it under the plant that you just wrapped onto your frame. Okay, like that. This one's a little bit different color. It's kind of greener. You don't need different colors of them. Like you can get all just one variety. Doesn't matter. If you have some that are that are blooming or that are going to bloom, sometimes you don't know, but some are about to bud or have a bud or a blooming, then you can kind of balance those out around your wreath. There, that one's blooming. Put that one there. So then once you've got everybody just as you want them, that's kind of bugging me. Then you want to carefully, so you don't break off anything, take it around to the other side. And you need your little snips, some kind. Trim off the wire. And then leave enough so you can thread it through somewhere on the back side. Put that so you can see that a little bit better. So I just thread it around one of the bars, and then you're just gonna wrap it. Try to get it pretty snug. I don't think that's quite tight enough. Actually, I think I'm just going to wrap it around this bar here. I am trying to be careful not to set the wreath down too, try to be careful, especially with that flower. So, you don't have to do it too much. I mean, it's not like the wire's going to get a ton of tension on it or weight. Okay, so that's it. And then trim off your excess wire in the back. And that's kind of it. So here's the finished wreath back on the door where it lives. I leave it outdoors year-round where we live in Northern California. We don't really get freezing temperatures, and it's protected from the rain and from the sun. And I just hit it with a spray bottle about once a week, depending upon the weather, or sometimes just the hose when I'm outside. Yeah, so you can see it's actually incredibly easy to make. The plants themselves are a little bit of an investment the first time, but these are plants that I have had for many, many years, some of them more than 10 years, and they put out pups and, continue to produce new plants for you. I hope you decide to make a wreath of your own, and if you do, please send me a picture. I would love to see it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and go to otherwiseamazing.com to subscribe to my email list. Right, Winnie? Winnie doesn't care. She's so harsh. You're so harsh. You want a cookie?